Long ago, in the days when the avatars of the wind danced with the whispering rice stalks, Kamuga was a village of peace, of rhythm, of laughter. It was where the river Miru curved like a mother's arms, where children chased grasshoppers at dusk, and where guava trees bent heavy with ripe yellow fruit. It was in this village that Akatch was born, the son of Kamuga, the one who carried the name with pride and hope. But pride could be a tricky thing. Akatch, like many young men, dreamed of leaving the quiet hills behind. He imagined himself striding through Nairobi's industrial area in overalls, grease on his hands, money in his pocket, dignity in his chest. Villagers blessed his journey. His mother slaughtered a cockerel, declaring, "Go and become a man." His wife Eunice, Nayar Kamwa, wept at the gate, clutching their youngest child. "Come back soon," she whispered. Akatch nodded. 9 children, I will never forsake you. But Nairobi had its own plans. It swallowed him whole. The city of smoke, sweat, and narrow alleys. Akatch vanished into the maze of Mathura's shadows. His laughter faded. His letters dried up. His promises dissolved like sugar in rainwater. 7 years passed. 7 years. No coin, no word, no name called across the village paths. Back in Kamuga, hunger found a new home. Eunice, Nyarkamwa, stood alone. Her breast dried, her voice cracked with worry. She watched her 9 children's ribs form fences around their small, desperate hearts. Guavas, mapera, became their silent meal. The fruit of the wild became the legacy of abandonment. One Saturday morning, the 6th child, Abira, that beautiful little boy with eyes like quiet stars, woke and whispered, "Mother, I am hungry." His voice was too soft for a child who should be shouting. He plucked guavas from under the trees, stuffing them urgently into his mouth. He ate, and ate, and ate. Then, under the acacia's shadow, Abira collapsed. His stomach swelled, his life fluttered, and stopped. On that very spot, death claimed Kamuga's innocence. A letter was written. Ink met paper with trembling hands. "Akatch, hurry home, there is trouble." It was sent by the only teacher in the village who still remembered how letters worked. But Nairobi never responded. Weeks flowed into months. The grave was filled into months. The grave was filled. Abira returned to the earth without ever calling Baba. The wind carried away Kamuga's wails. Time marched, cruel, unbending.
The moon hides her face tonight. Stars refuse to shine so bright. A whisper on the lonely wind. Where did your gentle promise end? Oh, Akatch, my love, can you hear my call? Every sunrise sees another tear fall. 9 young hearts yearn for your light. This empty bed, a heavy, cold night. No happy laughter, just a silent sigh. No chasing fireflies beneath the sky. Little eyes search for your return. A quiet plea, a lesson to learn. Oh, Akatch, my love, can you hear my call? Every sunrise sees another tear fall. 9 young hearts yearn for your light. This empty bed, a heavy, cold night. Beneath the old fig bough we stand, a broken vow across the land. Our home still echoes your sweet name, burning low, fragile, fading flame. The cold embraces when dark descends. No guiding star, no voice that sends a simple plea, no bitter moan, just longing for you to come home.
3 years later, just before the cock's early crow, MZ Deboro noticed a slow-moving shadow under the kabaga tree. Who walks at this hour, he wondered. With the rising dawn, the form took shape. A tall man, clothes tattered, clutching a black paper bag like it was all he had left on Earth. It was Akatch. The son of Kamuga had come home, but he was not the son who had left. His eyes were hollow, his skin hung loose on brittle bones. He whispered, "I am sick. They say I have AIDS." In the early 1990s, AIDS was a nameless horror. In Kamuga, it wasn't medicine's language. No, it was chira, a curse, a punishment, a shame carried home like ashes in cloth. Eunice took him in, and they lay together, not in passion, but in sorrow. Soon, the curse claimed her too. They became a pair of shadows on the rough reed mat. Their voices spoke in sighs, their breaths rattled like broken gourds in wind. The children were 8 now, one gone to the earth, the rest tethered to survival, and in that humble hut, burden fell onto the shoulders of Mummy, the eldest daughter. She was 16, but life aged her. Her hands were calloused from gathering guavas before dawn, barefoot, shivering. She stopped schooling. She became mother, father, daughter, grass cutter, and provider. She plucked the wild fruit, carried them in woven baskets, and walked to Kadinda Market where she sold them, 4 guavas for 5 shillings. She counted coins like rosary beads, praying they'd be enough. Her list became constant. Unga, 40 shillings. Sugar, 45. Kale, 30. Omena, 30. She did this with trembling hands but unshaken resolve. When the village whispered, "She resembles her mother," she carried herself upright. When they murmured, "Her father left them," she swallowed her rage and kept moving. The day she announced she was getting married, her younger siblings wept. "But you are our mother," they cried. She didn't smile. She just said, "When cattle are brought, Mama will rise again. She will weave baskets and take them to Sandu as usual. She will get well." But Eunice did not rise. Akatch did not recover. They were too deep in the waters of grief and disease. On a dusky evening, the same wind that once carried the scent of ripe guavas now carried the mournful sound of dirges. Mummy, standing before 2 fresh graves, held the younger ones close. The sun dipped behind the ridges. Kamuga stood still. A son who abandoned, a wife who endured, children who inherited hunger, and a village that never forgot. This story is not just of Kamuga. It is of all the places where hope goes silent, where promises rot in the wind, and where love is weighted with burden. But still, in the midst of mourning, children grew stronger. They learned to survive with bruises and brokenness, yet carried within them the resilient heartbeat of the hills. For in Kamuga, even sorrow had a song.